Hey guys, so this week I'm going to talk about something that I love and enjoy very much, which is comic books. So I'm going to give you some advice that you may or may not use in starting or maintaining your own comic book collection. Yeah, I don't know if you guys liked comics. It's not like I go to Comic-Con every year and I love like comic book characters, but I really like comics. So I guess my first piece of advice would be my first piece of advice before my first piece of advice is make sure you get these plastic protectors to put on your comics, because it's nice to have a little extra something in between the wild world and your comics, because I don't want my comics getting ruined. They are my babies. Most comic book stores will just like have it wrapped in the little plastic sheet when you buy it, and they'll just be like, here. Others, they'll be like, oh, would you like to keep the plastic for an extra 25 cents? And that's their way of just getting a little bit more money, which is okay. That's, they need to make their revenue. But yeah, make sure you get plastic protectors for your comics, and then also a place to store your comics. This is a short box. It can hold about 150 comics. There's also a long box, which is like twice as long. They hold like 300 comics. I don't know where you would even put a long box, but this might be a little much when you're first starting. Something else I would recommend, kind of like a DIY comic book box, is if you subscribe to Loot Crate, usually they'll add a comic book in the box for you, and it's the perfect size to fit a comic because there was a comic in it. I think this one held about 30 in it before I had to upgrade to a bigger box. But yeah, if you're just starting, a Loot Crate box, or really any box, just someplace you can put them. Next piece of advice, find a store you like. I know that can be hard whether you don't know where you can find a store near you, maybe there might not be one. I know that when I lived in St. George, there was only one comic book store. I didn't care for it. It was too far away for me to walk to it, and biking to it was no fun. I didn't care for the staff very much. Going along with that, you should like the staff at the comic book store that you attend.
I'm not gonna drop names or anything, but there's been a comic book store that I don't go into anymore, and I don't know if they were purposefully being rude to me, or that's just how they are. They judged me on my choice in comic books, and they're kind of patronizing me because I was a girl. And I know this because I went in with a friend who was a male, and they treated my male friend much differently than they treated me. And I was like, oh, probably had that stupid mentality of, oh, she's a girl, she can't actually enjoy this stuff. It's like, no, I can, please piss off. But anyways, kind of going along with, places where nerds congregate should feel like safe places, because we all like things, so we shouldn't judge other people for what they like. You can internally do that. I don't care. But if you externally project those feelings to make someone feel uncomfortable, that's not okay. You're a jerk. Go away.
So anyways, like the people at the comic book store you frequently attend, because they can give amazing advice. They can give you suggestions, whether it's like, hey, we liked this, you should try reading this, or hey, you really liked that, you're gonna like this because it's by the same artist, the same writer, whatever. It's just in the same genre. So yeah, make friends with the people who work at the comic book store, because they are sweet. They're awesome. Really cool people. They're fun to talk to. Even if you don't care for what they suggest you can have some fun conversations with good comic book store staff. Next, whether you haven't started, you don't know how to start, you don't know where to start, I suggest a genre you like. Again, going back to having good relationships with the people at the comic book stores, tell them, hey, I like this genre, I like this character, what would you recommend for me? Or you could just be like, do it yourself. You could be like, hey, I like this character, I'm gonna find an issue. Just one, just be like, hey, I'm gonna get this, and I'm gonna read it, and if I like it, I can continue getting more. Also, some things to learn. The difference between an issue and a volume. A volume is like a full-fledged book. It's a few issues put together, usually about 5 or 6, and then a volume is just like a chapter. So, here's the chapter, here's the book with like 5 chapters in it. Anyway, so yeah, just start with like one volume, continue reading. If you like it, get more. If you don't, it's okay. You only lost out on a few dollars. Because there's been a few where I got it and I was like, I don't really care for the way that this is written. I don't care for the way that the art style is, and that's okay. It's personally, in my mind, it's like I'm missing out on like $4. That's okay, because I'll find other ones that'll make up for it.
I'm trying to think if I have any more advice that I can share. I can give you a few suggestions that I personally enjoy very much. The Unbelievable Gwenpool. It is has very cute art style. I like the way it's written. It's all over a really good comic. Hawkeye. Love Hawkeye, because he's a deaf superhero, and love the deaf community. And also Lady Killer. Lady Killer is about a 50s housewife who is also an assassin, which is really cool. They're coming out with volume 2 soon, and I'm really excited. I have pre-ordered it, and it should come in like May, so I'm sorry, I get really excited. This is a topic I really like. Jonesy's really cute. It's about like a middle school, like 12, 13-year-old girl who can make people fall in love, which is just adorable. Giant Days is about 3. Giant Days is also one of my favorite. I probably have more Giant Days comics than like any other comic in my collection. It's about 3 college girls, Esther, Daisy, and Susan, and it's just really sweet. I like the story, the art style's cute. I also haven't pulled it out, but Patsy Walker, aka Hellcat, is a really cute comic, and I also enjoy it.
So, take what you may from this video, start your own collection, read them online, do whatever you like. I like having physical copies of books and comics. If you have other advice to other people out there, or other methods, share them down in the comments, and can share a little more knowledge in the world. And I love you guys. See you guys later. Ta-ta.